Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. You know, there's this old saying that says only a fool fights for a house that is burning. And you know what? The house is burning down. This thing with Colin Kaepernick has done blew up and have gone to unprecedented levels like they've never seen before. The news media and everybody thought that if they pushed back against this protest, that they could silence this man and suppress the truth. But see, this is the same thing I talk about when I'm preaching. You know, truth can only be pressed down so long, because as long as they're pressing it down, they're constantly putting pressure on top of it. But just like a diamond, just like coal, just like anything else that is under pressure, just like a volcano, one day it has got to erupt, and it will erupt. And you know what? The social dissent that is going on today and everything else that is going on, especially with the political spirit in this country, especially with racism that's going on in this country, you can go ahead and chalk it up that the wicked past of America is under fire. It's under a microscope. It's under a magnifying glass. And while it's under a magnifying glass and under a microscope, there are people who are actually cleaning the lenses of the past and not making excuses for them. They're not calling something a mistake when people don't even know what a mistake is. You see, a mistake is something that you do when you go away from the right thing, not knowing what you're doing. But an error is when you know what you're doing and yet and still you still do wrong. Whether you are, look at this, sober in mind or not, you still knew the right way, but you chose to do wrong. Now the NFL, which has got the biggest platform in America, one of the largest spectator sports that there is, now you got white players and black players joining together in one. That's what they're doing. They're joining together in protest of the racism and the divisiveness of racism that is going on in this country, that the news media tries to suppress, that other people try their best to turn around and tell you that it's not existent. But Charlottesville lets us know that this thing, there is something flying under the radar perception. There is something really truly that is egging the people and irking the people. There is something simmering, and I do mean simmering. You know, a frying pan, if you spray Pam, you know, on it, it helps the food and everything to heat up. But boy, if you put some Crisco in there, and you throw some meat in there, oh, it's hot now. Oh, it's burning hot now. And see, and that's what we're seeing take place right now, is that America, while on one side they want to tell you that their racist past was heinous, and they're still calling these people heroes, and they want you to think that ain't, you know, we have turned the curve, and we have changed our minds, and we have reevaluated ourselves, but you ain't re-examined nothing, because things still the same. You see, while they telling us that things have changed, some of us know that things are still the same. Ain't nothing changed at all. And so it's become very unpopular to bring up this past. And the reason why that there's such a push for people to have the revelation of what's really truly going on in the past, because there are generations that have passed that if they don't know what history says, then guess what? You are destined to repeat the same mistakes of the past, and the same mistakes are being repeated again. But not in this generation, because this generation has chosen to be more educated, chosen to be more informed, and now there are pushbacks. And so now what do states do? States do is this, is they pass laws and make things lawful, which otherwise would be illegal, and they use the guise of the law to say that it is legal, because passing a law doesn't mean that it's righteous. Passing a law doesn't mean that it's a law of morality where people don't get hurt and where it's not going to be offensive to other people. It's just a law that they choose to enforce on the book because they got the guns, they got the badges, and they have the House, the Senate, and the whole entire governorship. My advice is this, and I'm still on the protest with this Colin Kaepernick. I know that many of you hate what I'm saying, and I can't understand that. Why do people hate truth so much, especially when it affects you? You see, you only know when truth has an impact when you feel it right here. Whenever truth is said, there's something in here that pops up that tries to protect you from it. And it's just utterly amazing to me. And that's how you know who a liar is. A liar is someone that will not acknowledge the truth. Even though it's sitting right here in front of their face, you'll watch them start doing this tap dancing. So what needs to happen even more so, just like we're watching the NFL get together, both black and white players, the firestorm has started. The NFL Players Association, as well as the league owners, are going to catch hell in 2021 when they get to the collective bargaining agreement, when it's time to renegotiate this contract on how we're going to do things, because we may not have NFL for 5 years if the people can do right with the money that they're making right now, because financially, they're getting hit in the pockets. They're getting hit hard, and they're going to get hit even harder. What needs to happen more than anything is that all of us that have at least somewhat of a political mindset. Most people don't even understand politics in the first place. And of course, they'll make some type of ignorant, dumb on purpose statement distancing themselves from politics because they don't have the mental aptitude, nor can they articulate perfectly the environment and the social ills that we're dealing with. And so a lot of people, what they rather do is just remain politically correct and incorrect by not saying nothing but standing up. And the voices of dissent in this country called America is starting to join together against this system of racism. It's a systemic system of racism. And not only, I'm going to go a little bit further, not only is it a systemic system of racism against those of blacks and Hispanic and other ethnic descents, it's also a systemic system of racism against the white people themselves, because now you got the rich people. You got these people in power, and you need to know the difference between having money and having power. Money is not power. Power is when you're in a position of authority and you can affect change. Money, you can give somebody bribes in order to try to affect change. But mind you, you're in a house of serpents and vipers. You're in a den of thieves, a brood of vipers. And there ain't no honor among thieves in any way, shape, fashion, form. As soon as they shake your hand and tell you you got a deal, you know that thing is off the table as soon as you turn your back and walk away. Stop being so damn naive and wake up and smell the proverbial coffee. And let's look at things for what they really truly are. We need to join together as a people and get rid of, especially that damn Democratic Party. For 54 years ain't done you black folks no justice whatsoever at all. It's a pimp-prostitute relationship. That's all it is. And they've been pimping you ever since from the beginning. You need to re-examine. Everybody needs to re-examine. You need to get rid of the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, and start your own alternative, independent party where people can join together and then start running for these offices in the states, even starting at the local level of townships and parishes and counties. Start taking office seats right there, running, and then everybody who can vote. Because there's also a concerted effort out to make sure that they make people felons, so that you can't vote. And then those of you that can vote get active in voting. These are just suggestions, even though I'm under no illusion whatsoever at all that people are going to do this. And then we can control the governor, the governorship. We can control the states. And then when we are in there, I'm talking about blacks, whites, Hispanics, everybody that dissents against this systemic system of racism here in this country. Then we can control the laws that are being passed. And then we can pass laws that are going to defend and protect us from those of them that would do us harm. You see, it's tough talk like this that people don't want to have, because as long as something is not said, Your mind will not have the ability to be able to venture out into the field of thought, to venture out to the field of thinking and stuff, so that your comprehension levels and your understanding can be open, so you can really truly see things, because we see things through words, whether people like it or not. And a lot of times, too many times, more often than not, it's the words that are not said that harm us the most. It's the people that are dealing with us wisely while they're shaking your hand and they're inviting you to damn barbecues and song and a dance. I'm telling you, the chickens is coming home to roost. Barack Hussein Obama, first black president, allegedly, in America, did 2 terms. What improved about the, let me get this phone. I should just cut this thing off. Seems like every time I do a video, I got to discipline myself to start cutting these phones off. So, I done lost my train of thought now. That makes no difference. But anyway, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know exactly what I'm saying. Of course, it's probably, you know what I mean, a concerted effort on that too. I mean, if there's a conspiracy theory on one thing, might as well be a conspiracy theory on everything else. And I'm sure when I go back and watch this video, I'll be able to pick up my train of thought, but we'll do that later. What I'm saying is, I send a shout out to the NFL and the players in the NFL who have the real true power. I appreciate everybody's joining together on the protesting, especially of this particular system right here that they're still trying to cram down people's throat and make it seem like it's righteous, when those of us who are on the other side of it know that this system is corrupt as hell and unrighteous as hell. That's just the truth. I love seeing the unity. I really truly do. Voices rising up and descending peaceful protest. You know, it's pretty bad in this country right here when you can fight dogs and go to jail and become a damn felon and still get out there on the field and make a lot of money. You know, it's a problem when you can be associated with murderers, or either probably did the murder yourself and you get on the fields and make a lot of money. But then you sit and take one dang knee in this country, and all of a sudden it causes an uproar, and you ain't done nothing to nobody, no harm. I mean, ain't that the law? The law of nature, harm no one. You ain't harmed nobody, and yet and still look at how you view. What kind of attitude is that in this country?